Recently, I've been checking out Suricata, an open source IDS IPS tool that stores its data in JSON format. I found some sample data here on GitHub that dates back actually to the first conference in 2015, but maybe we'll look at some of the more recent stuff. So if you're unfamiliar with JSON, this can be a little daunting to look at. A lot of systems are storing data in JSON format because it's great for computers and it's great for software that is parsing this data. So you'll see this often in ELK and other tools as well. If you're human, it's kind of hard to understand exactly what's going on here. So what I'll do is I'll take a link to the download of this file. You can download the file itself and upload it from your machine, but I'll just save a step and load from link here. It's okay if the file is zipped or gzipped. Gigasheet will decompress it on the fly. This will take most JSON formats that you would see coming out of OSSec or ELK and other products. So you can see it processed it, and this one only has 207 rows. It looks like we've got a bunch of different alerts that fired, and then some signatures and IP addresses as well. There are a few things we could do to explore this data. The first thing I usually do is use the group feature. So this is a pretty quick way to see what's in this file. We can see here a whole bunch of stuff. Most of it was classified as miscellaneous attack, but then there are some specifics like web application attack or attempted denial of service. If you open the grouping, you can see actually what the data is within this group. It's also easy to view in what we call a card format, which basically takes the data and just flips it to be vertically organized. We see here this destination IP. Maybe we want to check and see if any of these are on any open source threat feeds. So I'll click on the menu icon and go to Enrichments. And in this case, I'll just choose OSINT feeds. Here we'll just do a quick check. Since this file is a little old, I'm a little skeptical if we'll find anything interesting in it, but we'll see what comes back. If this was something that any of these IPs were active, this might hit on some of these open source feeds. Another thing we could do is see where in the world are these located. So in this case, we'll choose our GeoIP enrichment. Basically what it's going to do is a GeoIP lookup against all 207 of these IP addresses, and again, add columns just to the right of this. So here we can see in this sample data, it looks like a lot of stuff in the United States, but again, I'll use the group by feature, and I could see, okay, interesting, actually a handful of different countries, but mostly the United States, and maybe I want to exclude that data and just look at the stuff from outside. So I'll use a filter to exclude United States in this case. Basically what this does is it writes SQL for you, and you can see here it's filled out our filter for us. We could adjust that as well. I want to remove my group and look at all the data that came from outside of the country. You can see that this categorized it as potentially bad traffic, corporate privacy violation, and maybe a Trojan was detected. That's a quick, simple example of how you use Gigasheet to analyze alerts that come in a JSON format. Thanks.